Imagine a berry so powerful it scores 16,620 on the antioxidant scale, while blueberries barely reach 4,669. A fruit that thrives in brutal winters, needs zero pesticides, and produces medicine-grade nutrition for 30 years straight. You've never seen it in stores. You've probably never heard its name. Yet it grows wild across America right now. This is aronia, and its disappearance wasn't an accident. The conspiracy of silence. They didn't need to ban it. Instead, settlers gave it a repulsive name, chokeberry. One word was enough to bury centuries of indigenous wisdom. While Americans ripped it from their land as a worthless weed, European scientists were studying what native peoples already knew. This was survival technology in berry form. Today, Poland controls 90% of global production of this American native plant. We're literally buying back our own botanical heritage as expensive imported supplements. The irony would be funny if it wasn't so criminal. Ancient wisdom, modern ignorance. The Potawatomi and Abenaki nations understood something we've forgotten. Not all medicine tastes like candy. They dried these berries and mixed them into pemmican, the ultra-dense survival food that kept entire communities alive through merciless winters. The tannins didn't just provide nutrition. They preserved meat fats for months, even years. This wasn't primitive guesswork. This was sophisticated food science, tested and refined across generations. When European settlers first tasted raw aronia, they gagged. The sharp, astringent bite offended their sugar-addicted tongues. They had no framework for bitterness as healing. They wanted immediate sweetness, instant gratification. So they dismissed it entirely, and the knowledge died with that dismissal. The numbers don't lie. Let's talk science. The USDA uses the ORAC scale to measure how effectively foods neutralize free radicals, the molecules that age your cells and trigger disease. Strawberries? Barely register. Raspberries? Moderate. Blueberries, marketed as nature's superfood? For 1,669 micromoles per 100 grams. Impressive, right? Aronia demolishes them all at 16,620 micromoles. That's not just better. It's 344% higher than blueberries. A 2014 study in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry tested dozens of fruits for polyphenol content. Aronia didn't just win. It obliterated the competition. These aren't generic antioxidants either. Aronia's anthocyanins and proanthocyanidins specifically attack vascular inflammation, the root cause of heart disease, diabetes, and metabolic syndrome. Remember the French paradox? How the French eat rich foods but have lower heart disease rates, supposedly because of red wine. Aronia contains 4 times more protective polyphenol than the finest wine grapes. But wine gets billion-dollar marketing campaigns while Aronia gets called a weed. Medical research they don't advertise. Polish universities, where Aronia is actually grown, have run clinical trials with stunning results. Regular consumption drops systolic blood pressure by 8 to 11 points. That's comparable to prescription medications, achieved by eating berries. The mechanism is elegant. Polyphenol repair your blood vessel linings, improving circulation and reducing pressure naturally. But here's where it gets interesting. Aronia inhibits alpha-glucosidase, the enzyme that breaks down carbohydrates into sugar. Block that enzyme, and you prevent the insulin spikes that lead to diabetes. This isn't theory, it's documented, peer-reviewed science. The taste of truth. There's one final barrier keeping Aronia off grocery shelves. It tastes like medicine, not candy. For 70 years, industrial agriculture has bred fruits for brick scores, sugar content measurements. Higher sugar sells better. Consumers want blueberry muffins that are really sugar bombs with fruit flavoring. They want cranberry cocktails that are 90% sweetened water. The industry systematically bred nutrition out and replaced it with fructose. Meanwhile, Aronia's astringency, the very quality that delivers its medicinal power, makes it impossible to eat like candy. You must process it, blend it into smoothies, dry it for trail mix, juice it, and mix with apple. It requires intention, effort, and accepting that real medicine doesn't taste like dessert. That makes it incompatible with a food system designed for addictive convenience. The revival begins. But knowledge never truly dies. Midwest farmers in Iowa, Missouri, and Nebraska are now planting thousands of Aronia acres, breaking the corn and soy monopoly. They recognized that a perennial crop requiring zero inputs while producing premium nutrition beats another field of commodity grain. Small farms are opening U-pick operations. Nurseries are selling bushes. Health companies are creating concentrates and powders. The knowledge is returning, one garden at a time. You can plant aronia today. $40 buys a 3-year-old bush that produces fruit this season and for the next 3 decades. No fertilizer. No pesticides. No maintenance. Just 15 to 20 pounds of North America's most powerful medicinal fruit every autumn. Avoid products labeled chokeberry. That's the dismissive colonial name. Look for aronia, the name that carries respect. The pharaohs never tasted this. The Potawatomi did. It was stolen, renamed, and buried by ignorance and greed. But it's still here, still growing, still producing 16,620 ORAC units per 100 grams. Still the highest antioxidant fruit on earth. They didn't ban it. They just convinced you it didn't matter. Now you know better. What you do with that knowledge is up to